Good evening and welcome to News Tonight, where we get you the day's biggest news and events through the day from across India and the world. I am Tina Jha. Let's begin with the top stories of the day. Prime Minister Narendra Modi arrives in Argentinian capital Buenos Aires for 13th G20 summit starting tomorrow. Summit to focus on building consensus for sustainable development in agriculture. On the sidelines, Prime Minister to hold bilateral and tripartite meets with world leaders, including Xi Jinping, Vladimir Putin, Donald Trump and Angela Merkel. Maharashtra passes bill proposing 16% reservation for Maratha community in educational institutions and public services. State Backward Class Commission declares Marathas socially and educationally backward with inadequate representation in state services. Supreme Court allows students above 25 years to appear in NEET undergraduate exam this year. Says admissions will be subject to final outcome of the case. National Testing Agency told to extend November 30th deadline for applications by a week. Finance Minister Arun Jaitley proposes federal institution like GST Council in healthcare and agricultural sectors. Says merger of existing state schemes and central resources will help people's welfare. And BJP manifesto in Telangana promises farm loan waiver up to 2 lakh rupees, free laptops for degree students, and increase in retirement age from 58 to 60 years for government employees. In Rajasthan, Congress promises farm loan waivers, free education for women, and 3,500 rupees monthly allowance for jobless youth. Well, Prime Minister Narendra Modi on Thursday arrived in Buenos Aires, the capital of Argentina, to attend the 13th G20 summit. The summit, beginning on Friday, will focus on building consensus for fair and sustainable development in agriculture as put forth by the host country that is chairing the event. Sustainable agriculture, which is one of the immediate concerns for developing countries, will be one of the main topics during the G20 summit. The Prime Minister is expected to highlight problems of oil price volatility that directly impact the Indian economy. Digital revolution and Skill India are also among the issues to be discussed during the summit. On the sidelines of the summit, Prime Minister Modi will witness a mega yoga event on Friday and will also meet UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres. Back home, the Maharashtra Assembly unanimously passed a bill proposing 16% reservation for Marathas under the socially and educationally backward category. The bill provides for reservation of seats in educational institutions and positions in public services to people from the Maratha community. The bill was tabled by Chief Minister Devendra Fadnavis, who thanked opposition members for their help in the passage of the bill unanimously. Fadnavis also tabled the recommendations of the State Backward Class Commission's report on social, educational and financial status of the Maratha community. The report said nearly 37.28% Marathas in Maharashtra are living below the poverty line, while 93% families from the community have annual income less than 1 lakh rupees. The report also said that the Marathas are entitled to reservation benefits and advantages enshrined in Articles 15(4) and 16(4) of the Constitution.
राज्य सरकार ने आज कानून बनाकर मराठा समाज को आरक्षण का लाभ दिया है। बैकवर्ड क्लास कमीशन ने एक रिपोर्ट दी थी और उस रिपोर्ट में इस प्रकार का आरक्षण देने की अनुशंसा की थी और मागास वर्ग आयोग के बैकवर्ड क्लास कमीशन के उस रिपोर्ट के आधार पर आज ये निर्णय यहाँ पर लिया गया है। और ये निर्णय लेते समय जो ओबीसी का आरक्षण है उसको किसी भी प्रकार से कम न करते हुए उसके बाहर ये आरक्षण दिया गया है।
And for more on that big story, we're being joined on news tonight by Aditi Fadnis, political editor, Business Standard. A very good evening, ma'am. Ma'am, the reservations in Maharashtra currently stand at 52%. Now, 16% quota for Marathas will take it up to 68%. How will that work, considering the Supreme Court permits only 50% quota?
Well, I'm sure there will be a petition in the Supreme Court. That's a legal issue. That is not as germane as the reason why the reservation has been given.
Yes.
As you recall, there was the rape of a young Maratha girl in Kopardi in Maharashtra, which set off a series of public marches by the Maratha community on with two or three basically issues. One was that the Scheduled Caste, Scheduled Tribe Atrocities Act is imposed blindly, and that should be done away with, or it should be moderated. And second, that Maratha should get reservation. Their backwardness should also be considered. This has a very long history, and the matter was first came up in the Congress government, and the Congress got a resolution passed in the Assembly. But after that, the government was, the elections came and they were not able to take this forward.
Yes.
So it has been a festering sore. You are absolutely right. There is a problem with the 50% earmarked by the Supreme Court on this matter of reservation. But other states have also done it, and I'm pretty sure that the matter will be challenged judicially. Well, when it comes to the Supreme Court, then we'll see.
As you pointed out, ma'am, the previous government had also, they came up with a similar decision of the previous Congress NCP government back in 2014, but it was stayed then by the Bombay High Court. How do you think this proposal is different?
Well, the state government has to do something. If it does not meet the legal requirements of the system, the courts will challenge it. The courts will stay it. So we have to see now whether the court steps in suo moto, or whether somebody appeals to it and somebody petitions it and says that this is illegal, unconstitutional, and therefore you cannot go ahead with it. That will create another set of problems in its stead, but I guess we'll have to wait for it to happen first.
Another thing, ma'am, that we want to understand from you is that, Maharashtra State Backward Class Commission has found Marathas to be socially and educationally backward. That is, they fall in the SEBC category. How is this different from the OBC category, considering which the government created a separate category instead of including the Marathas in the OBC category?
I'm not absolutely clear about this, because every state has its own law. A caste which is forward in a state is backward in another state. So, it's state specific basically. But Marathas have been in the forefront of the liberation of Maharashtra. They have given so many chief ministers to the state.
Yes.
And yet they consider themselves socially and educationally backward. So there are good reasons for this. The pace of industrialization in Maharashtra has not kept up with the pace of industrialization in neighboring Gujarat. So that is one problem. Jobs are not to be had easily. And educational backwardness is a problem all over India. It's not caste specific, it's a problem for most Indians. So I think the state government maybe should have addressed those issues rather than go through the reservation route. But there is a problem because the caste is well mobilized, it is very self-conscious, it is politically very influential, and no party can actually go against this kind of a demand.
Yes.
So now, in order to keep it at 50%, this chief minister has already declared that no other communities' reservation quota is going to be disturbed. How it's going to work out, we still have to see.
Also, ma'am, in the past, twice the Maratha community's request was turned down. In 1980 by the Mandal Commission, in 1990 by the NBCC. So over the decades, how do you think the scenario has changed? How has the Maratha community now been, they've been categorized in the SEBC category?
Well, as the chief minister himself said, a commission gave a recommendation, and all that the government has done is to accept that recommendation.
Right.
Obviously, because the agitation by the Maratha community was proving to become a big political challenge. So he has addressed a political issue administratively.
All right.
Now, going forward, again, we have to see how it meets, how it's rolled out, and how the implementation of this decision takes place.
Of course. Thank you so much, ma'am, for joining us on News Tonight. Going back to our top story, Prime Minister Narendra Modi is set to hold 2 key bilateral meetings with Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia and the UN Secretary General tomorrow, according to sources. Sources also revealed that Prime Minister Modi will discuss all issues of bilateral and regional interest with the Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia. UN Secretary General has reached out to the Prime Minister for the second time in just 2 months. The Prime Minister's meeting with the UN Secretary General is likely to focus on climate change. The outreach comes just a week ahead of COP24 meet in Poland, first ever trilateral JAI meeting between Japan, America and India, and second RIC trilateral meet between Russia, India and China will also take place after an interval of 12 years. And now let's take a look at all the news from the election-bound states of Rajasthan and Telangana. The BJP today released its election manifesto for Telangana in Hyderabad. The party has assured farmers a loan waiver up to 2 lakh rupees, free laptops to students and benefits of the Ayushman Bharat scheme to 3.5 crore people if it is voted to power in the state. The BJP also promises that the retirement age will be increased to 60 years for state government employees. Speaking on the occasion, BJP State President Dr. K. Lakshman assured the people of Telangana that the manifesto will be implemented in its letter and spirit. The manifesto also includes free quality seed to all farmers and free cycles to girl students from classes 7 to 10th.
భారతీయ జనతా పార్టీ తెలంగాణ రాష్ట్ర ప్రజల ముందు కూడా ఒక చక్కటి ఒక పూర్తి అధ్యయనంతో కూడుకున్నటువంటి ఒక ప్రజా మేనిఫెస్టో, ప్రజల గొంతుకల నుండి పుట్టుకొచ్చిన మేనిఫెస్టో, 4.5 కోట్ల ప్రజల ఆశలను ఆకాంక్షలను ప్రతిబింబించే ఒక అభివృద్ధి సాధక ఇది మేనిఫెస్టో.
And Home Minister Rajnath Singh on Thursday addressed public meetings in Vanaparthi and Nagar Kurnool in Telangana. Addressing the rally in Nagar Kurnool, he hit out at the state government for not doing anything for the welfare of farmers. Singh added that the BJP-led central government has been releasing funds for various schemes to benefit people, but the TRS government during its tenure diverted the central funds for its own schemes. He also stated that states which are ruled by the BJP government are developed. He said if the BJP comes to power in Telangana, it will work for the development of all sections of the society. The senior BJP leader also addressed rallies at Zahirabad and Maheshwaram constituencies. Telangana will go to polls on the 7th of December.
मैं तेलंगाना और आंध्र प्रदेश दोनों के चीफ मिनिस्टर से मैं पूछना चाहता हूं कि आंध्र प्रदेश का डिवीजन होने के बाद भी आंध्र प्रदेश और तेलंगाना का डेवलपमेंट क्यों नहीं हो रहा है। अटल बिहारी वाजपेयी जी ने 3 नई स्टेट्स बनाई थी, छत्तीसगढ़, झारखंड और उत्तराखंड। तीनों स्टेट्स तेजी के साथ डेवलप कर रहे हैं और डेवलप्ड स्टेट्स की क्यू में आकर आज खड़े हो गए हैं। लेकिन कांग्रेस ने जो यहां का डिवीजन किया है आंध्र प्रदेश तेलंगाना का, तो उस डिवीजन के बाद भी आंध्र प्रदेश और तेलंगाना का डेवलपमेंट क्यों नहीं हो रहा है।
On day 2 of his Telangana campaign today, Congress President Rahul Gandhi said if his party comes to power, it will first focus on the welfare of the tribes of the state. Addressing a rally at Bhupalpalli in the tribal belt of Telangana, Gandhi said the Congress will ensure protection to their forests, land and water. He promised reservations in government jobs and admissions to state-run educational institutions for scheduled tribe candidates proportionate to their population in the state. Accusing the centre and Telangana Chief Minister K. Chandrasekhar Rao of diluting the Tribal Rights Act to the detriment of forest dwellers, the Congress president promised to bring a tribal bill that would give immense benefits to tribals.
और किसान को, आदिवासी को मार्केट रेट से 4 गुना ज्यादा पैसा मिलना है। 5 साल के अंदर जमीन पे इंडस्ट्री नहीं लगी तो उस जमीन को किसान या आदिवासी को वापस मिलनी चाहिए। दिल्ली में नरेंद्र मोदी जी ने इस बिल को, इस कानून को खत्म किया और तेलंगाना में आपके चीफ मिनिस्टर ने इसको खत्म किया। हमारी सरकार आएगी तो जमीन अधिग्रहण बिल लागू होगा और आपसे बिना पूछे, आपको सही रेट दिए बिना या आपकी जमीन नहीं ली जाएगी।
BJP President Amit Shah campaigned in Rajasthan ahead of polling on the 7th of December. Addressing public meetings in the state, Amit Shah said the BJP governments at the centre and in Rajasthan had implemented welfare schemes covering all sections of the society. He also hit out at the Congress party over illegal migrants from Bangladesh, saying the BJP government will try to expel them from the country one by one.
आपके शासन में इस देश के 60 करोड़ लोगों तक बैंक का अकाउंट नहीं था। बैंक का अकाउंट पहुंचाने का काम ये भारतीय जनता पार्टी की नरेंद्र मोदी सरकार ने किया। 6 करोड़ माताओं के घर में गैस का चूल्हा पहुंचाने का काम ये भारतीय जनता पार्टी की सरकार ने किया है। 2 करोड़ गरीबों को घर देने का काम किया है। 2.5 करोड़ गरीबों के घर में बिजली पहुंचाने का काम किया है। 8 करोड़ घरों में शौचालय पहुंचाने का काम किया है। 13 करोड़ जच्चा और बच्चा सगर्भा माताओं को टीका लगाने का काम ये भारतीय जनता पार्टी की नरेंद्र मोदी सरकार ने।
2 days after the BJP released its manifesto for Rajasthan, the Congress party today released its Jan Ghoshna Patra for the state. The party claims that its manifesto has been created with the help of people of the state. It makes a slew of promises, from farm loan waivers to unemployment allowance for the youth to free education for girls. Whether these promises are enough to vote it to power, that will be clear on the 11th of December when the results will be announced. Loan waiver to farmers, free education for girls and women, unemployment allowance of up to 3,500 to educated youth, and pension to elderly farmers. These are some of the promises the Rajasthan Congress has made in its election manifesto released on Thursday.
किसानों का जो कर्जा है उसको कांग्रेस पार्टी माफ करेगी और एक नई शुरुआत करने का मौका हमारे किसानों को राजस्थान में मिलेगा। हम लोगों ने मैनिफेस्टो में ये भी लिखा है कि हम जो महिलाएं हैं राजस्थान प्रदेश में, जो लड़की पैदा होगी उसके पैदा होने तक और जब तक वो पढ़ाई करना चाहे सारी पढ़ाई उसकी मुफ्त होगी, निःशुल्क होगी। महिलाओं को प्रोत्साहित करने के लिए पढ़ाई में आगे और आएं।
The party says it reached out to people in various ways, including on social media, and received nearly 2 lakh suggestions for the manifesto.
लोगों के बीच में जाकर और डिजिटल प्लेटफॉर्म के माध्यम से लगभग 2 लाख सुझाव उन लोगों से लिया और उनके सुझावों और प्राथमिकता के आधार पर ही राजस्थान कांग्रेस का घोषणा पत्र का निर्माण हुआ।
The Congress leaders also used the platform to hit out at the BJP government over its unemployment allowance. However, in its own manifesto, the party has promised an allowance of 3,500 for educated youth, also promising to create more jobs for them.
कि हम लोगों को रोजगार देने का पूरा कोशिश करेंगे, मिलेंगे लोगों को रोजगार। हम चाहते हैं आसान दरों पर उनको लोन मुहैया कराया जाए ताकि वो लोग कुछ रोजगार कर सकें। नौकरी अगर नहीं मिल पाती है, ऋण अगर नहीं मिल पाता है, तो पूरे प्रदेश के जो ज़रूरतमंद परिवार हैं उनके पढ़े लिखे बच्चे बच्चियों को हम लोग आर्थिक मदद के रूप में 3,500 रुपये तक का मंथली अलाउंस देना चाहते हैं ताकि उन लोगों को एक सहारा मिल जाए।
The party's focus will also be on providing quality health services to citizens, for which the party has promised to restart the free medicine scheme introduced by the previous Congress government in the state.
मैं पूछना चाहूँगा, पिछली बार बदनाम किया गवर्नमेंट को, दवाई नहीं जहर बट रहा राजस्थान के अंदर, जहर पिला सरकार। तो ये जो जिस प्रकार जुमले बोल के कामयाब हो गए, न 15 लाख नौकरी मिली और ना दूसरे जो कमिटमेंट के जो पूरे हुए, खाली वो उनका जो संकल्प पत्र था वो संकल्प पत्र खाली नाम का रह गया, कोई काम नहीं हो गई।
The party has also laid out plans to expedite work on rail connectivity in Dungarpur, Banswara and Tonk, and also to push industrial growth. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV. Granting relief to medical students opposing upper age limit for NEET, the Supreme Court has allowed medical aspirants above the age of 25 years to appear in the National Eligibility and Entrance Test Undergraduate Examinations 2019. The Supreme Court has clarified that the admission will be subject to the final outcome of the case on the validity of CBSE decision to fix the upper age limit. In the official NEET UG 2019 notification issued on the 1st of November, the Medical Council of India has set an upper age limit for students. The age limit on the date of the examination is 25 years for general category and 30 years for the reserved category students. A number of students had earlier moved the Delhi High Court opposing these changes in admission norms. However, the Delhi High Court had upheld the regulation. The Supreme Court has also directed the National Testing Agency to extend the NEET deadline by a week. The deadline was set to expire on the 30th of November. NEET is an entrance examination for students who want to study graduate, postgraduate, medical or dental courses in India. The Supreme Court has told the Uttar Pradesh government that the vision document on Taj Mahal being prepared by the Delhi School of Planning and Architecture should be made public. The institution informed the Apex Court that the process of preparing the vision document would be completed within a few days, and as per terms of reference, they would submit it to the UP government. Additional Solicitor General A.N.S. Nadkarni, appearing for the centre, told the bench that the first draft of the heritage plan for Taj Mahal, which is to be submitted to the UNESCO, was ready and it would be finalized within 8 weeks. He also said that once the heritage plan is finalized, it will be sent to the UNESCO along with the vision document. The bench has posted the matter for further hearing in the first week of February. Finance Minister Arun Jaitley has said there is need for federal institutions like the GST Council in two sectors. One is the healthcare and the other one is agricultural sector. Speaking at the 15th CII Health Summit, he said that political maturity can impose on governments to try that experiment to create such federal institutions. He also added that Ayushman Bharat will gain pace, resulting in patients realizing their rights and medical facilities improving their healthcare delivery system. Jaitley further said that the fundamental principle is that there is a need for more resources to be invested in the social sector and states need to be strengthened with more revenue.
There are two other areas which eminently require federal institutions of this kind. The GST was constitutionally provided for. Those areas are not constitutionally provided for. But political maturity can impose on governments to try that experiment. One is healthcare and one is agriculture. The states are spending on healthcare, the center is spending on healthcare. The states have their scheme, the central has its scheme. The states have their hospital, the center is also establishing institutions of excellence across the states. We are doing Ayushman Bharat, they also have parallel schemes. All this needs to be merged so that the benefit of these merged resources now starts falling to the benefit of the patient population of the country. Obviously, it will be implemented through the states with a central coordinating it. And if you have a federal institution, ultimately this is not a turf issue, is my scheme better than your scheme? It's essentially a welfare issue, whether the patients in my state are better than the patients in another state, whether they have more facilities. Every state would stand to benefit if this coordination through such a federal institution actually came up between the center and the states. And I think the federal institution experiment of the GST having succeeded, healthcare is an area where there would be the least resistance because it's a welfare targeting programs where we can move significantly a long way in making sure that India remains healthier.
Thousands of farmers from across the country reached Delhi today to demand debt relief and remunerative prices for their produce, among other things. The farmers are spending the night at the Ramleela Maidan, from where they will march to Parliament Street on Friday. Coming under the All India Kisan Sangharsh Coordination Committee, an umbrella body of 207 organizations of farmers and agricultural workers, farmers from different parts of the country arrived in Delhi in trains, buses and other modes of transport. The police have made elaborate security arrangements for the farmers' rally on Friday.
जो फसल का जो दाम है वो पूरा होना चाहिए और दूसरा ऋण से मुक्ति होनी चाहिए। ये मांगे तो काफ़ी दिनों से चल रही हैं। हम चाहते हैं कि इनके ऊपर कानून बने, जब किसान मंडी में जाते हैं वहाँ पे उनकी लूट ना हो। एक हम विशेष सत्र की मांग कर रहे हैं, किसानों के मुद्दे पे एक विशेष सत्र बुलाया जाए पार्लियामेंट का और उस पर डिबेट हो किसान के मुद्दे पे।
And on to some sports news now. On day 2 of Men's Hockey World Cup, Olympic gold medalist Argentina defeated Spain 4-3 in a Pool A match today. In the second match, Kane Russell and Stephen Jennings scored for New Zealand in a 2-1 win against France. Tomorrow, Australia will begin their campaign against Ireland, while England will play China in Pool B matches. India will next face Belgium on Sunday. And that's it from us in this bulletin. Thanks for your time.